Alright, hi everyone, this is just a quick video to tell you all where I am now. Here's the motor with 4 coils. Here's the first rewound extractor coil, which is 25 SWG, 25 gauge. Here's the next one that I wound, which is 26 SWG, 26 gauge. And there's the new bifilar that I wound to replace the first one, but turns out it didn't work as well. So yeah, I have the 22 winding of the bifilar into this cap, the single winding on this one into the cap just behind it with the rectifier, and the same for this one here into this cap just there and rectifier. So that's 3 caps all connected, I think it's parallel, they're all connected. And yeah, so out of all of these, this one is clearly the best coil. I don't know why it is, maybe it's the 25 gauge, I'm not sure, but I get about 13 volts out of there and about 7 or 8 out of here, and on either side of that it depends, but I've only got one winding on it hooked up, the 22 gauge winding, so I get about 4 or 5 out of that. But together, if I don't put a load onto the caps will easily charge. A bank of 3 63 volt 2200 microfarad caps here, 63 volt 2200, yeah, they will easy reach 63 volts in a matter of seconds. They'll just charge up, and you can watch it on the 2 meters. It'll just go boop 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 and charge up. But yeah, I'm currently using 415, 16, 18 milliamps. There you go. Primary battery voltage is on the left, 1236, and secondary 1164. I've just turned it on, so that's gained 0.2 of a volt on the secondary so far, and that's just the back EMF off the Bedini charging that. Okay, but what I've done now from those 3 caps is feed them into the primary battery. People will be like, why haven't you fed it into the secondary? But I have tried feeding it into the secondary and it makes minimal difference. So I thought, I put a load on the caps, and under load they seem to run at they'll charge up to 13.5 volts and stay there, and that's with a load. So that's under load 13.5 volts, maybe even 14 volts. So sorry, just the motor slowed down because the trim pot, the sweet spot changed, so I just had to change it, so it's now running on 420. They're really weird, these circuits. If they slow down, the sweet spot changes. Okay, my current RPM, sorry about the shakiness, really should be using a tripod, but I'm only doing a quick one. (1,316). With the addition of more coils, of course, when they are under load, when there's a load on, it will generally slow down the speed of the motor. However, if I did disconnect the loads, you would watch it speed up by a few hundred RPM. As long as I can get it tuned sweeter, then as long as it gets over 1,000, you get pretty nice generation out of the coils. So yeah, I'm feeding them into the secondary battery, and it really seems, into the primary battery, sorry, the caps, and it really seems to hold its voltage well for a long time. Oh, it just popped up, look. How can the voltage on the primary battery go up, I ask you? 36, 37, oh! Not supposed to happen, but yeah, feeding them back into the primary seems to work quite well for me. Now using 300 milliamps. 300 and... it's consistently changing. It's hard to get a... it'd be really hard to fix a formula out of these because it changes, so there's so many variables with speed, magnet strength. These are still double stacked, by the way. and I think I might have, although it still looks pretty balanced, it's a little less balanced than it was, because before I secured it, this coil at the back smashed into it when it was moving at about 1500 RPM, which snapped the bottom CD and one of the magnets out of it. So there was a magnet with a piece of CD glued to it that came off, so I just glued it back into place and it seems fine. But yeah, that's it for now. I've got a couple of ideas about how to refine my trigger circuit. This is a 1K pot. I want to try and get my hands on a 500 ohm pot and then stick a 500 ohm resistor with the 1 ohm with the 100 ohm resistor. So I'll have 600 ohms resistance in resistors and a 500 tuning potentiometer, variable resistor, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Okay, the primary battery started doing some really weird things now. It's jumping all over the place. 25, 30, 25, 23, 28, 27. It went to 40 a second ago. It's dropping. Back up again, dropping. This is, I've never even seen it do this. It's good that I always catch all the weird things. And it seems to have slowed down a bit, but it's running nicely. Yeah, so that was a bit longer than I intended, but there's my setup, and I seem to be getting some lovely extraction. A 555 dumper, if you know what I mean by that, to allow the cap bank to charge up, and then 555 a relay or whatever to pulse it to the secondary or primary, whichever you like, at a certain voltage, is an option, which I've seen other people do. But I'm not. You get a momentary climb when you do that. Say it's 1162 now, and I let them caps charge up and then dumped them to the secondary battery. You would get that rise to, if I let the caps charge to maybe 35, 40 volts, and then just dumped it into the secondary, you'd get a massive spark on the battery contact, and that would raise to about 1170 and then climb back down again. Now I'm sure there's some theory involving how the batteries do that, and will last longer and like absorb that charge, if you will. But I aren't anywhere near that level yet, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep winding extractors and keep tuning. I'm going to make those adjustments if I can to the tuning circuit, and that'll be it. You remember this bad boy? This is my generator. There was the 9 coils on there. They're A, too big, and B, not wound right. So I took them down to 6 3-phase and was balancing that on top. You can see the little blue tack pieces where I was sitting the little notches on. But yeah, I decided to halt that until I perfected the coil winding. So that's me for now. I'm going to stop jabbering and let you watch some more vids. Take it easy, peeps.